Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So this week's video is going to be a watercolor speed paint of 17's Jeonghan. So basically I found a reference photo of Jeonghan and I used that for his hat, his hair, and his outfit, and decided to draw him like this, kind of very happy, just a basic portrait bust kind of shot. So I'm just going to talk about my process a little bit because I've been kind of rusty with doing watercolors. As you guys can see, the two little watercolor pieces on the other page of Wonu, and yeah, Wonu with his little petals and flowers, and then Junie with that hat. So here you can see I'm using my palette Color ENO, and I did that for the rough sketch. I did not include that in the video because I thought I wasn't going to paint this for this video. And then I took my kneaded eraser to lightly go over my sketch to make my kind of the red lines fainter, more faint, I guess. And then I'm gonna use my BIC Mechanical Pencil to go over basically go over the sketch again to do a cleaner sketch, because the way I watercolor is that I do my line art in watercolor. So that's gonna be my final step, but I need to make sure that I know where I'm placing my colors. And the palette Color ENO does kind of dissolve with the water if you put too much and you keep scrubbing at the page. And obviously the mechanical pencil, like a normal HB mechanical pencil, doesn't dissolve with the water, so it's definitely a safe bet. When I'm doing watercolor line art for like my pieces, the line art usually is dark enough that it covers up the graphite, so it's usually not a problem for me. Here I'm using my watercolors, which is majority is Holbein Watercolours, a few Grumbacher Academy, and then I have a couple of M. Graham & Co. I'm using a size 8 script brush, I believe. I need to get a new one soon, because I believe the tip of this brush is getting worn out and I can't get as fine of lines as easily anymore. It still works quite well and it's still my favorite brush, so I still continue to use it. So talking about colors for this piece, I definitely was experimenting again. It's been a while since I've done kind of using blues and purples for the shadows of like a face or like skin in general, because I usually work so small that it's kind of hard to see it anyways. But for a bigger kind of portrait or bust kind of shot of a piece or whatever, it's fun to experiment with colors for the skin. So I wanted to add blues and purples near his neck, and I'm gonna add it a little bit closer to, I think, where his hair meets his skin, as like shadows there, and a little bit of shadows where the hat falls over the face a bit. Now, one regret I do have is that his neck is a little wide and his face is a little wide. Now, ideally I would have liked to keep his face a little bit thinner. I believe Jeonghan has more of a softer, slightly thinner face than how I drew it here. It doesn't really look like Jeonghan either. It's just kind of like a fun thing to paint. I had a lot of fun adding like blues and purples into this piece, hence like the shadow under his face as well. I'm gonna add some to darken up like the hair and stuff, and it looks really nice. Another fun thing I had was, not a fun thing, something fun while I was painting was the fact that I could add a lot of like purples and pinks and blues into the hat and the shirt. So blacks and whites are really easy to like manipulate the colors to add, like you could add like greens, you could add like reds or purples or blues or yellows, and it's like it still gives off the same kind of value, or your eyes still recognize it as basically like, oh, that's like probably a white shirt, or like that's a black hat, as long as you keep enough things like pure in color or like in contrast with other things. Your brain just makes sense of like certain colors. I don't know what I'm talking about again. I'm just rambling. I feel like it's been a while since I've done a watercolor piece like this, so this was good practice. I actually really like the hair as is now, but I do darken it up quite a bit because Honey's hair is very dark at the moment. It's like a natural dark brownish black color at the moment, and the base color that I used was a little bit too bright in my opinion, so I had to knock it back and darken it a lot. His eyes look a little derpy too, but like overall I actually really like this piece. I was thinking I was gonna struggle with it a lot because I haven't used this sketchbook in a while. It's been over a year of using it and I haven't finished it because I've always done final pieces or like smaller pieces on like scrap watercolor paper or my other watercolor sketchbook, or like on loose leaf watercolor paper, like pads and all of that jazz. But like I think it's fun to return back to a sketchbook and finally hopefully finish it. I would like ideally would like to do another sketchbook tour soon of this sketchbook. Now this will be less exciting I believe compared to my usual sketchbooks, but I think you guys might be interested in seeing what I've done in the sketchbook. I think I have 3-4 pages left, but I work very slowly because I tend to do watercolor like in a very small scale. I guess this one's an exception because I usually don't like doing this. I just feel like I could have done this on a different like scrap piece, and then I don't know, the way I think you guys already noticed this, the way I like to fill up sketchbooks is I like doing like compilations or like sketch dumps or like filling up the whole page with like a bunch of stuff. And me seeing it like this, there's like actually a lot of pages in the sketchbook where I either abandoned something or I had the feeling I wanted to like fill up the whole page, but I ended up not doing it. So I might go back and fill the pages up again, or I might leave it. I just like the feeling of leaving it because that was how it was before, but a part of me also wants to fill it up just because I love seeing a full sketchbook. I don't know. We're actually nearing the end. You can see I'm doing the line work now. So I'm doing the line work for the hair. And I think this really brings it out, like brings it together, because I love seeing the contrast of the lines with the sharp highlights. It's been a while since I've done highlights well in hair. I've been super lazy. If you guys saw the first seconds of this video where it was like Wonu and June on the left side of this page, you would have saw like Wonu's hair was very messily done and I regret it. This looks really nice. His hair looks very, I don't know how to explain it, glassy? I don't know. I think it's because the skin color is also reaching up into where his hair is, and I don't know, it looks really nice. So final touches is me using gouache, and yeah, so this is just to bring out the final few highlights. I know some people are not fond of using gouache or like any white medium to do highlights, but I quite like it. I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling and this quick speed paint. I'll talk to you guys next week, hopefully with a new video, and hopefully I'll be getting another draw with me or sketch with me where you guys can actually see my sketching, because that was a problem that I had, that you guys couldn't really see the initial sketch before I put down the marker and did the line work. But yeah, I'm thinking of either doing watercolors or doing pencil crayons. But I'll talk to you guys next week, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!